everybody, and welcome to general session today. And we'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance led by Commissioner O'Grady.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we have a couple of guests today. We are still in Black History Month, and we're happy to be celebrating that this February. And our first guest is Ms. Keisha Gibbs, manager of the Martin Luther King Metropolitan Library branch at 1467 East Long Street. And we're thrilled you're here again, and it's so good to see you.
Thank you so much. Sure. Now, good morning. How are you all doing this morning?
Good.
Wonderful.
Good morning.
Thank you. Good morning. I'm so pleased to be here.
It's a beautiful branch, by the way.
It is.
Thank you. Yes, and I was so tickled when I saw Jonathan here. I said, I'm going to brag a little bit on that beautiful branch. Wow. Good morning. As I said, the Columbus Metropolitan Library has been celebrating Black History Month all month with a bunch of different performers, a variety of programming for all ages. We have some storytellers like Lynn Ford, who was wonderful, and also there we go. There's my voice. And like Lynn Ford, and we also have had the Black Panther dance classes, which have been exciting as well. We've had first-person portrayals of historical people and much more. We also have a number of materials available for people to check out about Black History Month and a number of other topics. As you can see before you, I did bring a copy of what offerings that we have for programs. So we have lots of things that are coming up here soon. At the Martin Luther King branch, we're going to have the Flying Hobos, which tells the story of the first African Americans that flew across America. So that's going to be this weekend on Friday, February 22nd at 9 a.m. And we also have our Columbus African American Historical Collection, which I've presented to you guys about before, so I brought you bookmarks for that, which is just really a wonderful resource for all to go in and check out about all the different great things that Blacks have done in Columbus. So Mayor Coleman donated part of the collection. We also have collections from E.E. Ward Moving Company that we just got last year. And this year we're really focusing on trying to get Black athletes to donate to the collection as well. And you can also go to our website at columbuslibrary.org to check out all the great things that are going on. I also wanted to talk a little bit about our new branch. I hope that you guys have had an opportunity. I know you were there for the dedication as well. Just a little bit of the background of the Martin Luther King branch. It opened in 1969, and it was dedicated by Martin Luther King Sr., which still gives me goosebumps. So this year we will be celebrating the 50th anniversary of the branch. So when we opened our new branch on October 18th, we had the pleasure of having Martin Luther King III there for the dedication. So really coming full circle. And one thing that I love about the branch is it just has such a rich history, because where we actually built the new branch was the former location of the old East Side branch, which was built in 1953. So we have people coming in and out of the branch, and they reminisce and they talk about the bakery that was across the street, or going to their grandmother's house and walking to the old East Side branch to check out a book. And then it's great because we have people who look down the street and they say, oh, I remember going a block away and doing story time with Miss Keisha, and they'll go, Miss Keisha, you're still here? I'm like, yes, I am. So it's wonderful just to see all of the history and having people come out and be able to share in that as well. And we also were able to bring a lot of the artwork that we had in our former location. So we have some great pieces by Amina Robinson, by Elijah Pierce, that help to tell the story of the great people that have come from the neighborhood. So it's just really a wonderful branch. So if you've not had the opportunity to stop in, it's 1467 East Long Street, and I hope that you'll come by to catch a program, check out a book, or get one of the nice new commemorative library cards.
It is beautiful, and you've got so many resources there. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So much for being here today.
Thank
Glad
you.
Mayor Coleman was able to donate some stuff to the collection. He has a fantastic collection of his own. He wasn't feeling well last year, and I took some soup to his house when he wasn't feeling well, and he gave me a tour of his house, and he has an unbelievable collection of African American art in his home. So he's been collecting since he was a young man, and he has collected some fantastic stuff over the years, and so it's really great that he was donated some of that stuff to the museum.
Well, thank you. It was actually his idea to have the collection. He actually was speaking to our CEO, Pat, and I believe another library system had the mayor's office in their library. And he started to talk about this collection, and that's how it got started. And we're in our 6th year.
Little known thing about the mayor is he's a fantastic art collector.
Well, that's wonderful. Thank you.
I'll just say it too. Thank you for what you do and represent with the library itself. It's such a resource to many families in that neighborhood who might not have access to the internet or computers or even books. And it's, a reprieve from a lot of things in that community. I know growing up there myself, the other branch before the old one was closed was a place for young people to go and for reprieve, to have access to a variety of resources. And you have continued that legacy, and it's so fitting that we're able to celebrate 50 years and celebrate the dedication of a new institution just across the street from another institution, East High School, that has been a similar staple in that community. And so thank you for what you represent. Thank you for your contributions to Black history itself. And I'm actually thinking about making it over for the Flying Hobos. I know about them, but it'd be interesting to see the 90-minute presentation. So I'm thinking about trying to make that. So maybe I'll see you.
Yes, you'll see me there. Thank you.
Thank you.
Great.
Thanks so much.
Thank
I
you.
want to mention that Keisha is part of my class of Leadership Columbus 2018, and the author of the Leadership I Can Read book. that
I know.
Okay.
She wrote the
Thank
book.
you for that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Reed is one of my classmates, and also Priam is as well. So I'm in good company today. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Our next guest I am honored to introduce is Jonathan Moody. Jonathan is president of the highly respected Moody Nolan architectural firm. I'm thrilled you're here with us today to tell us more about the Legacy Project, which we all know is something that you inspire every day at Moody Nolan. And, and your family has been such an inspiration to all of us. We all know affordable housing is a major issue in our community, and what you've done here is just astonishing. So if you'd tell us more about it, please, we'd be thrilled.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me, and it's an honor to be here on behalf of my father, family, and the firm. I think you each have one of these, which tells a little bit more in depth about some of the things we're trying to do. This really started. It was one of these, first of the year, first day in the new year. My dad brings me into his office and he just says, "We're going to do something different this year." And I'm like, okay, we'll see how this goes. And he says, "We're going to build a house." And he just made a decision that he said, we do lots of, golf outings and other fundraisers and other contributions. But he says, as an architecture firm, you don't really see the impact that some of those things have. And as an architecture firm, his goal was to leave a legacy of something that we could point to and say, hey, that's something that we know and see and can touch and feel that makes a difference in someone's life. And he insisted, and it took a lot of perseverance on his part. He insisted that it was going to be no burden to the family, whoever it is, that he wanted it to be given away, and that everything, even as we're scrambling this week to kind of finishing touches, all that sort of stuff, to try and figure out how to get an alarm system installed and internet provided and all those things. It was his goal to have it all provided. So we had tons of partners, tons of help. I debated a list of over 30 contributors here who contribute everything from flooring to roofing to windows, and even time and effort and energy. So Simcoe Construction and Daimler Group, Dynamics Engineering, Jazernik Gears, Edge Group Landscape Architecture, Moody Engineering, Ohio Capital Corporation for Housing, Floyd, Marvin Windows, Fiesel Roofing, Elford Construction, Kohler, Fifth Third, Allegiant, Gilbane, Fujitsu, Columbus Coal and Lime, Cornica Coasing, Hamilton Parker, the YMCA, Interface Flooring, Lighting Systems of Columbus, Loth, Smoot Construction, Gordon International, KMA and Associates, Edgework Creative, Gotcha Covered, Mohawk Group, Worth, and there's more that I'm missing. But it really has been an all-in effort that I think what my father's vision inspired is everyone to kind of jump in and help, and we're seeing the impact that it's made. And there's a lot of momentum. Part of the story that he wants to tell is that we have 12 offices around the country, and he wants to do this in each of our locations. So we just had a meeting yesterday talking with our Nashville office about how we'll get that done there this year. So it's exciting, and we're honored to see it come to pass, and we're honored to be here. So, yeah.
So how long will it take before it's actually done and in circulation?
It should be. Our goal is the family will be moved in this month. So, yeah. So
it really does take a village.
Yes, I mean, truly. Even in the past few weeks, we've had people in our office go in and help paint the interiors, and I think they're there, buying groceries and putting furniture and refrigerators in right now. So
I saw him on TV a couple of weeks ago. I gave him a call that morning. It's great to know that he's doing well. Mm-hmm. So congratulations, he's doing well. So that's good news. But he told me about this, and the list of partners that you read, many of those are companies that we've done business with at Franklin County for years, and so that makes us proud that many of those companies that we've partnered with over the years on many of the projects that we've done are also partners that have stood up and joined you in this effort. So that's good news for us as well. So it makes us proud. Including well, that goes without saying. We've partnered with you guys many times, and so this is a phenomenal project, and keep up the great work, and it's something that you as a company can be proud of, as a family can be proud of, and as a son can be proud of. So thank you.
Thank you.
I'd just add to, first of all, it's really good to hear that your dad's doing well. We've all sort of kept him in our prayers and thought about him often, so he's a big part of this community. But I just want to zero in on, the idea of what you've done, because I really think we're having this, I don't know if you pay attention to this conversation we're having around poverty in Central Ohio. But it really is fitting because, and I know Director Bibbins is probably here somewhere in the audience who's keen on this issue. Yeah. What we've talked about is innovative ideas that really help us solve problems and help us sort of do things that really move the needle and make a difference. And this is one of those things where you take what you all have done in the private sector and couple it with a massive effort with the public sector, and we can really do something. And I think we should really think about, as Director Bibbins is looking over here, we've talked about this innovation incubator thing we'd like to do. This is something I'd like to take a deeper dive at, because you're able to do this out of the kindness of your heart, but all of those partners suggest there is a willingness to do more, and everyone can benefit from that kind of investment. And so I'm interested in taking a deeper dive to learn more. I know my staff spent some time over there last week, and so I haven't yet to get briefed on that. But this is something I think that we should explore, because we want to take good ideas like that, what you all have done and led on, and replicate that and bring it to scale in ways that everyone can benefit. Mm-hmm. And so I'm looking forward to learning more about how you pulled it off and what you're doing, but more importantly, having a bigger conversation. And so maybe it can, maybe it can't, but it's worth the deeper dive. So I'm looking forward to that conversation. Great work. Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah.
Don't leave. We have a resolution for you, and we would love to get a picture with you.
Oh, okay, great. Thank you.
For all the contributions of Okay. We need the approval of the minutes of January 22nd, 2019 general session, minutes of January 3rd, February 7, February 14 briefing.
Move approval.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner O'Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Commissioner Brown.
Yes,
Minutes have been approved.
great. The engineer's office.
I have a public hearing for this first one.
Okay, we do have a public hearing on this resolution. Can the clerk please read the public hearing?
Public hearing, resolution regarding the establishment, altering, and widening of the Havenwood Improvement Project, Franklin Township and Prairie Township, Franklin County, Ohio, viewed, engineered to file plans as necessary.
Good morning, Commissioners. My name is Cornell Robertson, Franklin County Engineer. With me today,
James Jewell, Chief Deputy of Operations.
Okay.
Commissioners, this capital improvement project is in the southwest part of the county, mostly in Franklin Township, and will look to improve township roads west of Georgesville Road and south of Broad Street.
Great. Is there, we're opening the public hearing now. Anyone in the audience wish to come forward and say anything? You may do so to the mic here. Okay, I don't see anybody. We'll close the public hearing, and seeing nobody, would the clerk read the resolution into the record?
Resolution number 103-19, establishing, altering, and widening of Havenwood Improvement Project, Franklin Township, Prairie Township, Franklin County, Ohio, viewed, engineered to file plans as necessary.
Commissioners, this resolution is the second resolution in the series of two to declare the project necessary, and will allow us to move forward with design and then subsequent construction of the improvement.
If there's no further discussion, move approval of Resolution 10319.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner O'Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce, Commissioner Brown.
Yes.
Resolution 103-19 has been adopted. Resolution 104-19, resolution authorizing a contract with Delane Pride Consulting to provide expert consulting services to identify erroneous motor vehicle registrations in the amount of $20,000.
Commissioners, as said, this is a professional services contract resolution with Delane Pride. This will be the fourth year that we've utilized her services, and she helps us find errors in the distribution of the motor vehicle registration fees.
If there's no further comments or questions, move approval of Resolution 10419.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner O'Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce, Commissioner Brown.
Yes.
Resolution number 104-19 has been adopted. Resolution number 105-19, resolution authorizing a settlement for a disputed property damage claim involving a Franklin County Engineer's Office employee in the amount of $816.16.
Commissioners, during routine maintenance of our right-of-way, one of our employees was operating the boom mower and damaged a vehicle owned by Craig A. Moore. There were no injuries reported. Our office has worked closely with the prosecuting attorney's office and has approved a total settlement in the amount of $816.16.
If there's no further comments or questions, move approval of Resolution 10519.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner O'Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce, Commissioner Brown.
Yes.
Resolution number 105-19 has been adopted. Resolution number 106-19, report second of the Franklin County Engineer establishing sums of compensation for a portion of the owners of property abutting the Havens Corners Road, County Road 16, at Morrison Farms East Drive Improvement, Jefferson Township, Franklin County, Ohio, in the amount of $37,000.
Commissioners, this resolution is for right-of-way acquisition for a road widening project in the northeast part of the county in Jefferson Township. The resolution includes 3 properties. The appraisals were based on fair market value.
If there's no further comments or questions, move approval of Resolution 10619.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner O'Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce, Commissioner Brown.
Yes.
Resolution number 106-19 has been adopted. Resolution number 107-19, report third of the Franklin County Engineer establishing sums of compensation for a portion of the owners of property abutting the Norton Road at Johnson Road Improvement, Prairie Township, and Pleasant Township, Franklin County, Ohio, in the amount of $36,847.
Commissioners, this is a very similar resolution in that it's for right-of-way acquisition for a capital improvement project in the southwest part of the county, and we plan to build a single-lane roundabout. This resolution includes 3 properties, and again, those appraisals were based on fair market value.
If there's no further comments or questions, move approval of Resolution 10719.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner O'Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce, Commissioner Brown.
Yes.
Resolution number 107-19 has been adopted. And they are doing the next
Under
one as well.
Board of Commissioners, we have
Resolution number 108-19, resolution accepting joint county ditch petition and fixed an hour and date for the view and first hearing of the Cook Tri-County Ditch Watershed, Franklin County, Delaware County, and Licking County, Ohio.
Good morning, Commissioners. Jim Ramsey with the Franklin County Engineers Office. A petition has been filed and a request was submitted by a Licking County resident, Patty Priest, to improve drainage in the Cook Tri-County watershed, which is located in Franklin, Delaware, and Licking counties. Franklin County is taking the lead in establishing this ditch petition because the majority of the work is located in Franklin County. This represents the first legislative step in the ditch petition process and establishes the date of the viewing to be February 21st, 2019 at 4, and the date of the first hearing, April 23rd, 2019.
You say the date of the first viewing is when?
The 21st,
Of February?
this week, yep.
What's in April?
First hearing.
Okay. Can't flip those around.
I wish.
First viewing in February or in April. Okay. Saw Commissioner Bubb from Licking County the other day, and so he was not excited about this either.
Oh.
So, all right. Move approval. If there's no further comments or questions, move approval of Resolution 10809.
Second.
Or 19, I'm sorry, 10819.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner Brown?
Yes,
Resolution number 108-19 has been adopted.
Thank you very much.
thank you. Job and Family Services.
Resolution number 109-19. Resolution approving a subaward agreement with Columbus Public Health to support a holistic approach to combating infant mortality across Franklin County through targeted programs, community interventions, education, and outreach strategies in the amount of $1,057,735.33.
Good morning, Commissioners. Joy Bivens, Director of Franklin County Job and Family Services. Franklin County and our agencies have played a critical role in Celebrate One's efforts to curb infant mortality across Central Ohio since its inception. The resolution will pull from TANF and general funds dollars to support initiatives designed to raise awareness as well as provide targeted, direct approach to addressing the underlying issues. And Commissioners, if I could just take a few moments and kind of highlight some of the initiatives. This is kind of like I call it a Christmas tree resolution where there's a lot of moving parts, there's a lot of ornaments on it. So I want to highlight some of the initiatives that comes under this resolution before we bring Perm up, because I think it's important as we're talking about the poverty, the anti-poverty initiative that you all are working on and leading, to educate the community on what's already being done on some of these critical issues in our community. One of them is to provide crib assessments and distribution, ongoing Celebrate One community engagement in targeted neighborhoods like near East Side, Linden, Hilltop, Franklinton, Morse, 161, Northeast and Southeast, and near South. Enhance the multimedia safe sleep campaign. You've seen those ads and media alerts. Celebrate One's Franklinton, Fuel, and Hilltop YMCA Community Neighborhood Initiative. That is, again, another targeted initiative under this resolution. The Hilltop Initiative will expand accepting residents from the 43222, 43223, and 43204 zip codes. And then we have the Building Healthcare Futures. As you all are great partners in this initiative, it's a community health worker initiative in partnership with the Ohio State University Nursing School, where individuals have an opportunity to go through a 12-week training program to obtain a health worker certificate through the Ohio State Nursing College. And then there's the Southside Thrive Community Engagement to reduce infant mortality and rate and address health indicators, the digital service integration, and also the evidence-based comprehensive health education curriculum. Again, I wanted to make sure that we highlight those initiatives for the community so they'll know what's going on in their community. They can go to the Celebrate One website, of course, and find out more information. And today we have with us Prim from Celebrate One, and if you all would like for her to come up and say a few words, she is in the audience.
Absolutely.
Come on up, Prim. You were ready.
Good morning, Commissioners.
You can push that down.
Just to my height, right? Good morning.
Absolutely.
My name is Pram Choksi, and I serve as Director of Community and Legislative Strategies for Celebrate One. Thank you, Director Bivens, for highlighting that, and also County Commissioners. We could not make the impact we are in our neighborhoods throughout the county without your support. So I thank you for that. I'm happy to answer any questions. You did an excellent job outlining some of the initiatives that will be funded through this grant.
What I found is that the holistic approach we take and working with you, this holistic approach is the only way we're going to make an impact that we need to make. And I love that we've added the community health worker piece, because when we have family members sometimes saying one thing about how babies need to be treated, it's really hard to fight that, through generational changes in how we've treated how babies should sleep, how babies should be treated in general. I think that trusted community health worker piece is going to be critically important, but we can't say it enough, how we need to use evidence-based information. And I think the education in the schools on preventing teen pregnancy, I think the prenatal care, I think everything we're doing together is the only way we're going to make that critical impact over time that we need to make. So I am thrilled we're doing this as a holistic way of reducing
Thank you.
infant mortality. I mean, it's just the way it needs to be, and we just need to say it over and over and over.
Well, I just said thank you as well. And I mean, clearly, this is we're focused on our most vulnerable citizens and families. But I guess because we are in the 5th year, I think, of this
I
program.
believe it is the 5th year, yes.
And so,
Yeah.
and I know the goal was something like 40% reduction, and then there's a higher disparity in the African American community and so forth. But can you give us a sense, data-wise, are we seeing improvements? Are our investments working? How close are we to the goal?
Excellent question. So, yes, we are seeing a downward trend as it relates to the overall infant mortality rate. We have a lot of work to do as it comes to the disparity, and I think that's where Celebrate One and community partners are going to hone in on this year and beyond, the next couple of years through 2020, is how can we focus on this, reducing the disparity rate, working with community partners to get this done. A lot of our data now reflects the disparity when we talk about sleep-related deaths, we talk about preterm births, infant mortality rate. We also show the disparity rate to show the community the work that we have to get done.
So, but what I think I hear you saying is that, yeah, we're seeing improvements, but the disparity, particularly in the African American community, it still exists, and we've got to zero in somewhat on that. And I think it's really a good point, because in our poverty work, we're really sort of pulling out these data points where we need to rethink how we're investing, rethink what we're doing, innovations in that area. And so we'd ask you to continue to sort of stick with us in this conversation. It's not as simple as let's continue to do what we're doing. Let's do better. Let's find ways. Some of those are very preventable if we can just access those families and make sure they have the information. And so wherever we're not connecting to something that we want to think of innovatively in our poverty conversation.
And Commissioner, if I could, one of the things that we find when we look at data as it relates to infant mortality is when we look at mothers who are connected to WIC, the infant mortality rate for those babies go down because they have nutrition and visiting, of course, to assist them. So we're having ongoing conversation with Erica Clark-Jones. We, in the previous administration with the governor's office, we were all looking to do a pilot for the WIC program on how we can immediately connect mothers who are not signed up, or families who are not signed up for WIC as soon as we find out or they identify as having a baby. So I think that's going to be an ongoing conversation. And Commissioner, when you look at the disparity rate among the Black community or the African American community, again, it is the highest. So if we can continue to educate and to push those services and be intentional about it, I believe collectively as a community, we're going to see those efforts. The rate becomes a little better for that.
One of the similar points when I was on the infant mortality task force, one of the similarities between the task force and the poverty steering committee that we're doing now, we identified during the infant mortality task force zip codes. We also identified during the poverty task force zip codes and areas of town. And so there's a very, so that data, Kirwan Institute, in both instances was able to identify similar data and similar information. And so being able to crunch that and being able to do that work, that kind of detailed work, both times has been very informational, very crucial to the kind of work that on both of these task force and both of these the background of both of these the data that we've been able to drive, and so it still informs the work that Celebrate One's doing, and it's some of the stuff that's driving the work that we're doing now. And so it's kind of crucial. So we appreciate that and keep up the good work. It's been a lot of hard work over 5 years now, and we expect that the work that we're doing is going to be a long, as we've been saying, it's the long haul. So.
But again, Commissioner, working with our partner, trying to come up with innovative ways and doing things differently, and I agree with wholeheartedly everything that you said. because even when you look at the zip codes in those neighborhoods, you know, those numbers have been those numbers, not just in infant mortality, but for the disparity rates for 30, 40, 50 years. And that's why we have to be intentional with this poverty work and looking at innovation.
That's right.
Absolutely.
Looking at race and place when we make an investment of our resources. So, thank you.
And we,
Thank you.
If you do not have any questions, I would ask for approval of this resolution.
So move approval. If there's no further questions, move approval of Resolution 10919.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce? Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
Resolution number 109-19 has been adopted. Resolution number 110-19, resolution authorizing the acceptance of a donated art piece from artist Janet Degeorge to publicly display at the Franklin County Department Job and Family Services.
Commissioner, Janet G. George was very gracious to donate a piece to Job and Family Services. And I don't know if she is here in the audience today, but the art piece titled Stuff and Such is a remnant of life, included memorabilia from Miss George's life, her friend, family members, as well as other artists within the community. It's been on display at the Ohio State University Art Center, Northside Neighborhood Pride Center, and as a part of a group expedition with the Creative Arts of Women Collective. The tapestry will be displayed in the Northland Center atrium area for the benefit of staff and visiting customers. You know, our team was very excited to receive this piece of art. So, and again, I don't know if Janet George is in the audience, but if she is, we wanted just to acknowledge and tell her thank you, but she is not. So, if you do not have any questions, I would ask for your approval of this resolution.
I would like it if we can send her a note of appreciation from the board.
Absolutely.
My colleagues are okay with that.
Yes.
I think it would be
Absolutely.
something
Absolutely.
we
Absolutely.
should do,
Absolutely.
and I would like to do.
Yeah, I think we sent you all a picture. I'll make sure we
Yeah.
send it again if you didn't receive
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And-
let's move approval of Resolution 11019 and move approval of sending her a note of appreciation.
Do you need-
Second and
do you
second.
vote on it?
Moved and seconded voting.
Well, I don't want to do anything that's not,
Oh,
Proper.
we are making a decision,
Yeah.
huh?
Moved and
have media
seconded
in the room after all.
voting. Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner Brown?
Yes,
Resolution number 110-19 has been adopted.
Thank you, Commissioners.
thank you.
Thank you. Fleet management.
Fleet management. I'm sorry.
Resolution number 111-19. Resolution approving a second contract extension and modification with Byers Ford LLC for the supply and delivery of fleet automobiles for the Franklin County Fleet Management Department in the amount of $1,800,000.
Good morning, Commissioners. Charlotte Ashcraft, Director of Fleet Management. The resolution before you is requesting approval of the second contract extension for the purchase of new vehicles. The original contract with Byers Ford was awarded on March 1st, 2016. The second extension includes one contract modification to require all auto title services to be provided by the Franklin County Clerk of Court's office. Byers has been obtaining all of our vehicle titles from our title division. However, this modification is being made to all our vehicle contracts moving forward. Fleet recommends this contract extensions and thanks purchasing for all their help with getting this done. Pending any questions, I request passage of this resolution.
Move approval. If there's no further comments or questions, move approval of 11119.
Second.
Moving and seconded voting. Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner Brown?
Yes,
Resolution number 111-19 has been adopted.
thank you, Cheryl. Office on Aging.
Resolution authorizing 15 grant agreements to provide health promotion wellness services for Franklin County senior options in the amount of $1,420,500.
Good morning, Commissioners. Michelle Missler, Director of the Office on Aging. The Office on Aging presents this resolution authorizing 15 grant agreements for health promotion and wellness services. The Office on Aging annually awards grant funds to these nonprofit organizations in order to expand the community services to the elderly population of Franklin County. Proposals being presented for approval via resolution today are from the Breathing Association, Charitable Pharmacy of Central Ohio Area Agency on Aging, Columbus Recreation and Parks Department, Columbus Speech and Hearing Center, Gladden Community House, Joint Organization for Inner City Needs, Life Care Alliance, Mid-Ohio Food Bank, Age Friendly Columbus and Franklin County, The Ohio State University, and the Upper Arlington Commission on Aging. These organizations will focus on helping seniors improve their health, status, and access to health services. In order to highlight the great work this funding affords, I would like to first invite up Jennifer Seifert, the Executive Director from Charitable Pharmacy, to share a few words.
Thank you. Good morning, Commissioners Brown,
Good morning.
Grady, and Boyce. My name is Jennifer Seifert. I am a pharmacist and director of the Charitable Pharmacy of Central Ohio, and it is my honor to be here to speak in support of Resolution 112-19 for the Franklin County Office on Aging Senior Options Program. The Charitable Pharmacy of Central Ohio conducts a prescription access program through the Senior Options, which allows us to provide medications, pharmacy services, and medication counseling for older adults in our neighborhood. We can all agree that the cost of prescription medication has risen to a crisis in our nation, and the Charitable Pharmacy is a local solution to that national crisis. In 2018, thanks to the Senior Options Program, our older adult neighbors in Franklin County received $2.7 million worth of medications that they desperately needed, medications none of them would have been able to afford. The same year, we conducted 5,844 one-on-one clinical consultations with these patients to ensure they took their medications correctly and consistently. During one such consultation, I worked with a delightful 84-year-old woman who I will call Betty. Betty is a magnificent influence on her grandchildren and her great-grandchildren. She has a determination and a sense of humor that makes her a delight to be around. Betty also has heart failure and is supposed to take 9 daily medications. Betty, I noticed that when she orders her prescriptions, she requests 3 or 4 medications one month and 3 or 4 medications the next month. This tells me that she's not taking her medications as her doctor prescribed. So I asked her about this. During our conversation, Betty told me that she wakes up in the morning and chooses 3 or 4 medications to take, which might make her feel better, or 3 or 4 medications that might not make her feel worse. She also told me that her doctor told her to stop being stubborn, stop trying to be her own doctor, and to take her medications. After some more questions, she eventually told me that she was confused about her medications. And then she pulled out 30 bottles of medications that were partially filled with various numbers of pills. Betty's blood pressure that day was 190/104, which is terrible. Because of the support of Senior Options, I had the time and resources to do what a pharmacist practitioner should do. We consolidated her bottles, we talked through her medications, and together we came up with a plan for Betty to take her 9 medications. We plan to hold 6,000 of those one-on-one interactions with our older adult neighbors this year, and it would not be possible without the Prescription Access Program through the Franklin County Office on Aging Senior Options Program. Thank you for your time this morning.
Thank you.
So I take that many medications every day, sometimes maybe more. If you don't take that medication, Betty's not going to, if she's 84, she's likely not going to live to be 85. Maybe, certainly not maybe 86.
Right.
You can't do that. I'm talking to you, but I'm talking to whoever might be listening. People do this all the time. I mean, people do this all the time. If I miss one dose, and I'm talking to everybody, if I miss one dose of those medications, I end up like I was yesterday in the hospital having to, depending on what your heart condition is, you know, I end up in the hospital and I end up having to have some sort of crazy medical treatment. You can't miss your doses. You can't pick and choose which medicines you take. If the doctor prescribes your medication, you have to take your medication.
Yes.
I'm talking to you, Jennifer, but I'm talking, sorry. Yeah, Jennifer. Sorry, talking to you, Jennifer. But I'm talking to whoever's listening. Take your medications. If your doctor prescribes your medications, take your medications, especially if you're a heart patient. You can't pick and choose which heart medications you should take. You just can't. And if you're a senior citizen, it's even worse. You just have to take your medications. And if you need help, then you need people like Jennifer to help you make these decisions, but you can't not take your medications. You just can't.
I appreciate.
Sorry, I'm frustrated because I was at the Ross yesterday for much longer than I needed to be, all because I was there yesterday because one of the medications wasn't working any longer, not because I missed a dose. But twice last year, and I'm very, very, very fanatical about making sure that I take my medications. But 2 times in a calendar year, I missed one dose of one medication, just one dose, and I ended up having to go to the hospital to be what's known as cardioversion. Cardioversion is not fun. That's when they basically electrocute you and put you back into rhythm. Just because I missed one dose of one medication, take your medications.
Absolutely.
Jennifer, I know what charitable pharmacy does in the community, and
Sorry. You're right.
What Commissioner O'Grady says is so true.
Fantastic.
That people don't understand the impacts of not taking their medication, and often they can't afford their medication or they're confused about it. So thank you for the counseling and all of the education you're able to do, and thank you, Michelle, for understanding the importance of getting them on board at the charitable pharmacy, because we know some people are making choices of whether they eat or whether they take their medication. If they're not getting their medication, they're not going to be able to eat because they're not going to be around. And we understand that, but it's such tough choices that people need to make. So thankfully you're around to help with that.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, I kind of went off on the don't forget to take your medications or don't make these choices. But the answer is folks are making these tough choices because they think they can't afford them or they can't afford them, and they're either confused about the thinking they can't afford them, or they don't realize that there are the resources there to help them afford their medications. And so that getting them the resources is what we do and is what the agency does. And so and then there are the idea that we have the ability to help folks through the charitable pharmacy, and just getting them the information that they need so that they know that there are the resources there. Sorry, I just get frustrated by this whole
It is frustrating.
This whole thing, because either people don't take them because they're just not well educated enough to know that they should, or too well educated enough to know that the resources are there and they just don't know that they can.
Well, I'll tell you, I'm thankful to live in this county where we care, and I'm thankful to you as our commissioners. We've received national recognition through leadership organizations, the Pharmacy Quality Alliance and Community Pharmacy Foundation, that highlights what we are doing in our county to solve this crisis. So thank you.
Sometimes they're just not willing to go to the doctor to start with, and that's even more frustrating. Thank you.
Thank you, Jennifer. Additionally, I'd like to ask Katie White with the Age Friendly Columbus and Franklin County Initiative to come up and just share a brief update on her work and progress in 2018 and what we're looking forward to in 2019 with this initiative.
Hi, Katie.
Welcome again.
Commissioners, thank you for having us here this morning. On behalf of the Ohio State University College of Social Work, Age Friendly Columbus and Franklin County is pleased to be here today to provide a brief update. It was almost a year ago today that we were here with the AARP Livable Communities Director signing Franklin County into the International World Health Organization Network of Age-Friendly Communities. So it's been quite a year. Thanks to the vision and commitment to community planning from Director Missler, we have continued to be out in the community, locally, statewide, and internationally, reaching just about 5,000 individuals this year through focus groups, stakeholder meetings, and various presentations. In 2018, we also held a Franklin County convening where we invited an elected official, an older adult, and a staff member from every community across Franklin County to come and learn about what we're doing, understand the strategies that we're working on that will be replicated across the county, and to really offer our mentorship and support. And one piece that we heard loud and clear was this interest in neighborhood or community-based approaches, thinking about neighborhoods as the unit of change. And so we are really taking 2019 to look at our village movement and quantify the results that we're having and the impact that we're having. Additionally, in 2019, as we look across the county, we'll be thinking a lot about mobility. We have emerging partnerships with Lyft. We'll be piloting a senior circulator on the hilltop with local organizations. We are looking at a project with ODOT that we're calling Safe Routes to Age in Place. So how do you get around? Where are you going? Where are you not going? And why not? To really understand as individuals age how we can make sure they have multiple options for mobility. And finally, we are making sure that the next generation of leaders are learning about aging at a younger age so that we know whether you're a graduate student or undergraduate student going into engineering, that as you pursue that career, you will have that aging lens. And I'll share with you one fun story from a middle schooler at Metro Middle School. We spend a month in the middle school every January talking about aging, bringing in older adults, and making sure we're passing on that lens. So this is a very middle school take on the outcome of the class. A thank you letter I received from a student. Dear Mrs. White, I don't even know how to start this. At first, I thought your class would be boring. I didn't have an open mind about it, but this class was amazing. Most of all, you taught me to have an open mind. Thank you for teaching me to have an open mind and to not be ageist. So the future is bright, and as we continue to have the opportunity through your support and through Director Missler's support, we really appreciate the ongoing vision that you have with us.
Great.
That's great.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
On page 12 of your book, you'll see a great quote from Commissioner Brown, so thank you for participating in that interview.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Thank you, Katie, for your tireless work to make the county of Franklin County age-friendly. Pending any questions, we respectfully request your approval of this resolution.
All right. Without any further questions or comments, move approval of Resolution 11219.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner O'Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce, Commissioner Brown.
Yes.
Resolution number 112-19 has been adopted. Resolution number 113-19, resolution authorizing an agreement with the Central Ohio Area Agency on Aging for case management services for Franklin County senior options in the amount of $4,894,359.
The Office on Aging presents this resolution authorizing an agreement with the Central Ohio Area Agency on Aging for case management services for Franklin County senior options. The Franklin County Office on Aging will utilize the COAAA for the provision of needed face-to-face case management services. Additionally, the COAAA also provides the initial home assessments for all senior options participants, which are required prior to enrollment. The contract also covers some shared service provider quality improvement activities and will run from January 1st, 2019 through December 31st, 2019. Pending any questions, we respectfully request your approval of this resolution.
Without any further comments or questions, move approval of Resolution 11319.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner O'Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce, Commissioner Brown.
Yes.
Resolution number 113-19 has been adopted.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Have a great day.
Thanks, Director.
Public Facilities Management.
Resolution number 114-19, resolution authorizing recycling of information technology equipment declared obsolete by the Franklin County Automatic Data Processing Board.
Good morning, Commissioners. Lauren
Morning.
Stahl, Assistant Director, CFO for Public Facilities Management. Periodically, this agency is asked by the Data Processing Board to assist with the disposal of obsolete surplus IT equipment. We do so in a manner consistent with this board's commitment to promote sustainable principles in our policy decisions and programs. Pending any questions, we request your approval to dispose of this e-waste.
Move approval of Resolution 11419.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner O'Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce, Commissioner Brown.
Yes.
Resolution number 114-19 has been adopted. Resolution number 115-19. Resolution declaring personal property as unneeded, obsolete, or unfit and not needed for public use and authorizing the sale of said items via internet auction.
This resolution will declare personal property, specifically high-density shelving from the Child Support Enforcement Agency as obsolete and authorizes the sale via internet auction at govdeals.com. In the event the bid is received, or no bid received, the item will be made available for recycling and disposed of in a sustainable manner. Pending any questions, we request your approval of this resolution.
There are no further comments or questions. Move approval of Resolution 115-19.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Commissioner Brown.
Yes.
Resolution number 115-19 has been adopted.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you. Justice Policy and Programs.
Resolution number 116-19. Resolution authorizing a sub-grant award increase of $9,412.75 to the Ohio Hispanic Coalition to provide victim advocacy under the FY 2017 Stop Violence Against Women's Act grant program.
Good morning, Commissioners. Michael Daniels, with the Office of Justice Policy and Programs. In our typical audit of looking at our grant money to make sure that we spend everything out, we noticed that we were going to have a slight surplus of funds for our 2017 Violence Against Women Act. We contacted the Ohio Hispanic Coalition, and they would like to be able to augment the services that they offer regarding domestic violence and stalking within that Hispanic-speaking community. And so we're asking for your authorization to add this additional $9,400 to their contract.
There are no further comments or questions. Move approval of Resolution 116-19.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Commissioner Brown.
Yes.
Resolution number 116-19 has been adopted.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you. Community Partnerships.
Resolution number 117-19. Resolution authorizing a collaboration agreement with Community Mediation Services to support tenant education and landlord-tenant mediation in an amount of $100,000. I'm sorry.
Good morning.
Good morning, Commissioners. Dana McCrary, Community Partnerships. This resolution, as Antoine said, will allow community mediation services to really provide the wonderful services they do to help mediate landlord-tenant disputes, to help make arrangements for a scheduled move-out date if it comes to that, to help make scheduled payments that are actually affordable for residents, so that they don't end up with an eviction, which, as you know, never goes off of someone's personal record. Franklin County has led the United States, has been one of the highest with one of the highest eviction rates for the past 10 years, and in 2018 we had 17,697 evictions in Franklin County. So the work that Community Mediation Services does every day, being present in eviction court, is needed just as much now today as ever before. So pending any questions, I would respectfully request approval of this resolution.
Without any further comments or questions, move approval of Resolution 117-19.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Commissioner Brown.
Yes.
Resolution number 117-19 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Thank you. Purchasing.
Resolution number 118-19. Resolution approving purchases for various Franklin County agencies in the amount of $3,641,672.02.
Good morning, Commissioners. Megan Perry-Valnier, Assistant Director of Purchasing. The resolution before you requests your approval of 128 purchase orders. Included in this resolution are 25 eligible purchase orders. Eligible POs are those in which small and emerging business enterprises are likely to participate. 17 of these eligible POs were awarded to SEBEs, which is 68% of the eligible PO volume. The sum of these 17 POs is $293,653, which is nearly 85% of the eligible PO dollar value. These POs have been pre-certified as to the availability of funds by the county auditor. Pending any questions, I recommend their approval.
Without any further comments or questions, move approval of Resolution 11819.
Second.
Moved and second in voting, Commissioner O'Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Commissioner Brown.
Yes,
Resolution number 118-19 has been adopted.
Thank you.
thank you. Board of Commissioners.
Resolution number 119-19, resolution appointing members to the Franklin County Reentry Advisory Board.
Good morning, Commissioners. Eric Janis, Deputy Administrator. Resolution 757-18 established the Franklin County Reentry Advisory Board and designated that there would be 27 board members. This resolution makes the original 27 appointments staggered over 3-year terms and identifies the leadership of the board per the founding resolution. Pending any questions, would recommend approval.
Without any further comments or questions, move approval of Resolution 11919.
Second.
Moved and second in voting, Commissioner O'Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce, Commissioner Brown.
Yes,
Resolution number 119-19 has been adopted.
Thank you, Commissioners.
thank you. Any journalizations?
There are none today, Commissioner.
Well, then we are adjourned. Thank you, everybody.